Nicole Reeyn is one of the most interesting characters we've encountered in Genshin thus far. Many of you know her simply as a member of the Hexenzirkel, but there's much more to her lore, which is why I'm super excited to make this video. She's a prophet similar to Mona or Barbalos, and therefore known for helping people in need for guidance. Her fellow witches refer to her as the guide who never gets lost. We first encountered her at the end of Sumeru, giving us a message telepathically.
Unfortunately, the fate of Teyvat cannot easily be changed. Perhaps a god may have a slim chance. History does not change easily, but human hearts can. Believe your own eyes. Only that which you see is true. What is unseen is but an illusion.
Nicole is either unwilling or unable to physically speak, which we learn from a fortune slip in the Imaginarium Theater. She describes herself as having been suffocated by her own inability to speak. While she has been talkative at one point in time, Alice advised her to speak more steadily and with an air of mystery and nobility. I want to point out that her message is quite ambiguous. She specifically describes the fate of Teyvat and its history as not easy to change, which means it's not impossible. What is unseen is but an illusion could mean that although Celestia has written your fate already, if you haven't seen it yet, it's not definite. Worth noting is also the timing of her message. Alice told us that Nicole only talks to people to guide them towards truth when a change has occurred in the world. Together with the mentioning of changing history, it's likely that Nicole is aware of Irminsul and that its records were changed. She spoke to us a second time during the Fontaine conquest. This time, she told us that Fontaine's prophecy, the flooding, will happen, but also stated that prophecies are merely the future in the perspective of the gods and that they're not omniscient.
Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, could things be happening in hidden corners where the gods' gaze does not fall?
So, not only can she confirm if a future is certain or not, meaning she can read Celestia's written fate at least to a degree, she also seems to have some insights on what Celestia can actually control. Not being omniscient means they're not all-knowing nor all-seeing. Nicole's real-life inspiration was the French astronomer and mathematician Nicole Reeyn. She could accurately calculate future celestial events like solar eclipses or movements of the sun, moon, and other stars. Furthermore, she did calculations for cloud making. I think this is very fitting for Nicole. As we know, Genshin puts heavy emphasis on the connection between time and history, which we should rather call fate. Ishtaroth, the god of time, is likely the one responsible for writing the story, if you will.
And you, Ishtaroth, why did you bestow history upon them?
Prophets like Mona, Barbalos, and Nicole can predict the future or fate by reading the stars. I believe the reason why this works is because these star constellations are records of past and future events directly read from Irminsul. Wherever you go, whatever life throws at you, in Teyvat, the stars in the sky will always have a place for you. Which means that every samsara is recorded in Irminsul. Once a cycle is finished, you gain a constellation. 6 available constellations imply we are currently in the 7th samsara cycle.
Yes, what has been prophesied will be fulfilled. You may view such things as the history of the future.
Scaramouche's statement, "the sky is fake," not only refers to an artificial appearance of the night sky, but also expressed his despise for Celestia's predetermined fate and his desire to change his own. Your fate, or current story in the samsara cycle, is simply made up by Celestia and therefore basically fake, because you can rewrite it if you rewrite Irminsul, which we know is possible. Scaramouche did it himself. Skirk, for example, doesn't use a vision because she's not from Teyvat and therefore she's not bound by fate. It's also one of the reasons that the Senders can change fate at all. Speaking of Skirk, she gives us the most important lore about Nicole's true origins. She reveals that Nicole transformed into a human, so she was born as something else, and that she witnessed the self-destruction of her species firsthand. Man, that's some juicy lore right here. Furthermore, Skirk tells us Nicole is a sculptor, which could explain why Nicole is currently a Nod Krai. We know that the Frostmoon Scions built statues for their deity all over the country. Nicole very likely could have helped them in doing so. If you enjoyed this video thus far, leave a like and subscribe. The Nod Krai trailer showed us Nicole's appearance for the first time, most notably that her pupils have the shape of stars or primogems. You can see this symbol also on her forehead and her hat. The celestial trifecta is present on her, and she even has an intertwined fate on her hair. Furthermore, she's wearing a crown which illuminates together with her golden wings. We find all answers we need in the finale of the Deep Gallery's artifact description. It describes the story of how the Voyager, an extraterrestrial being, came to Tevat. He found the first angel chained beneath the Irminsul tree, and after revealing the beauty of the universe, the angel fell in love with the Voyager. It broke the shackles cast by the Primordial One and spoke of all forbidden secrets of creation. This was the birth of the rebellion against Celestia. By the way, the angel wore a crown which it threw to the ground, and it strongly hinted that Skirk caught a glimpse of this crown, and Pseudology sent her on a mission to search the abyss for more traces about the Voyager. The first angel went to the golden city of Hyperborea, which is where the Frostborn science originally came from. Having seen the fate and the future death of her own race, the angel spoke to its brothers and sisters and told them to rebel against the Primordial One. Celestia obviously didn't like it, threw down some nails and cursed the angels to become Sealies. Hyperborea was destroyed. In the attempt to avoid their destruction, they caused it. This time, they couldn't change fate. We can actually find even more info on what happened from the book series Records of Ju-Yun, which was released all the way back in version 1.2. The angel and the Voyager survived and fled into exile, but were eventually found by Celestia. Their punishment wasn't death, but they were separated for eternity with their memories wiped out. We get a very detailed description on what angels looked like. Magnificent, noble creations descended from the light itself, and the mortals called them angels. Their pale silver wings shimmered like moonlit flames, their heads were adorned with crowns of sevenfold radiance. The Voyager is specifically described with having star-shaped pupils, which could hint towards a connection to Khaenri'ah, by the way. Buckle up, because we're now entering theory territory. We have the visuals of wings, crown, and star-shaped pupils together. The angel's task was to guide humans, which Nicole is known to do.
Guiding people is an irresistible hobby of mine, after all.
And other angels were known to be prophets as well. I think it's very clear that there is some connection with Nicole here. Here are 3 possibilities on what she could be. 1. Nicole is a surviving angel that didn't turn into a Seelie. We know for a fact that some angels survived. We find the strongest hint that Nicole is one of them in a dialogue option of Wolfie in the theater. He tells us that a friend of Alice, who speaks to people's minds, is from an ancient Boar tribe, which most likely refers to the angels' race. In this story, Celestia punished them and they transformed into different animals. Nicole, however, offered her voice as sacrifice, which is why she turned mute. The scale breaking down could mean she escaped judgment and could transform into a human. However, there's something important that speaks against it. Skirk's weapon description reveals that there should only be 4 surviving angels in total. One of us shall wander beneath moonless night, drinking a sea of tears in futility for a kin who will not return. This refers to the Lord of Night. Another shall trudge across gilded sands, never to comprehend scarlet sincerity or ardent admiration. This refers to Nabu Malikata, the Lord of Flowers. Still another shall shrink into the dark, into bone-piercing hostility, until the promised tides arise to play out one final melody. This is clearly about Sibylla, who was involved in building Remuria and created the great melody Phobos to avoid Fontaine's prophecy. And still another shall wander ever in dreams solely to journey, awaiting an encounter in a stagnant foreign land. This is about the gold-eyed Celadon mare, which appears in the spring of hidden jade and the moonlit bamboo forest. The wording stagnant foreign land specifically refers to Leo here. The problem is, since the first angel foresaw fate and talked only about these 4 survivors, it should rule out Nicole being an angel. Let's get to option number 2. Nicole is a Snowland Fae. The first angel taught humans forbidden knowledge to create their own new angel-like race in the deep galleries of Hyperborea. They ruled the Northlands during the reign of the first Cryo-Archon. I believe it's likely that they designed these Fae with similar features to the original angels. The description gets a bit tricky, talking about how the Fae turned into icy mists due to the celestial nail, which could mean they'll be used as Sealies in-game, but they're technically not because they're not the original cursed angel race. Number 3. Nicole is the natural child of the Voyager and the first angel because she has features of both of them. It's important to note that we don't know if angels themselves had star-shaped pupils. If they didn't, Nicole having them is a hint that she has the blood of the Voyager. I believe this theory to be the most likely one because it would make Nicole the embodiment of the angel's love towards a single person, the Voyager, which is the sin of the angels. The Seelie curse activates if you forsake the heavenly commandment of universal love. The descriptions leave room for interpretation about their union or relationship. While it is specifically stated that they fell in love, we don't know if their union is synonymous for marriage or just teaming up against Celestia. It's noteworthy that the three Moon Sisters saw this happening, so if it was indeed marriage, maybe they passed down knowledge of a conceived child. Also, mind you that Tsaritsa is the Archon of love, so there's a connection to the theme of love as well, which could be of significance for her story later. In any of these cases, it would explain how Nicole is connected to the land and also why she helped the Frostmoon Science with building the Columbina statues. She should be on their side because they're the descendants of ancient Hyperborea. I would love if Nicole is the one responsible for creating the Seelie statues, giving her fallen kin a place to finally rest. Maybe that's why she became a sculptor in the first place. Thank you for watching this video till the end. Let me know your thoughts down below. I see you all next time. Bye.